All right, the start of the new year, of course, means to renew, refresh, and rethink your fitness journey. But some are battling with sticking to a routine, as one does, and it's okay to change it up. Apparently, we've got director and personal trainer here, Eric Stratman from Phat Health. So I know that last time we talked pretty extensively about going kind of slow if you need to, do a little bit here and there.
Absolutely.
Okay, but now I'm having a hard time keeping up with that.
Okay.
So how do I go about doing this?
Well, what we're trying to prompt here is that, we want to see consistent results. And there's a really big benefit if you guys are allowing yourself to get a little variety every time you go in, because people get into this routine, but then you get a little bored with it, right? But your body has that same response because we're meant to adapt. So we have that adaptation to these workouts, whether it's cardio or weights. So it's really trying to change it up a little bit every time you go in. So if you're thinking, well, I always do 5 sets of 10 of this weight, well, maybe just slow down your reps, or maybe add an exercise in between each set. On your cardio, if you're a walker or a jogger, maybe you're gonna run a little faster and then walk, run a little faster and walk. You're varying the distance, the time, maybe even the piece of cardio equipment you get on, because you want to have that variety, because as much of a physical benefit it has a mental benefit, because if we're stimulating ourselves mentally through a workout by challenging ourselves with something different, then it's going to keep us going in and allow us to get the results we're looking for.
Now, go ahead, Jess.
Oh no,
Mine's
a very in-depth question. So
No, go for. Oh my gosh, I'm excited now. I'm ready.
I
to
like
go.
depth.
Right?
Okay, yes, let's do it. All right. So for people who get frustrated with themselves if they don't stick to that schedule, like for me, I get a little bit frustrated because in college I was lifting weights all the time. I looked great, but now I'm not in my top physical health. So when I want to go to the gym, I feel like I can do all these reps, but I get in my headspace. So what do you want to tell people like me, and I'm sure a lot of other people out there as well?
Okay, you ready for this in depth?
Yes.
I'm ready.
I thought it was in depth.
Don't do that.
Okay, yeah, exactly.
There, it is in depth. It is, because again, there's that mental game of I feel like I should be here because I was here before and now I'm at this point in my life, but it's this workout doesn't work. It's get out of your own way, right? And that's why we talk about at least 15 minutes a day. Just do something, because it makes a huge difference. Are you going to make better decisions with your hydration and nutrition if you just went for a 15 or 20-minute jog? Yeah. If you're like, hey, I'm just going to crush some Ryans and I'm just going to lay on the couch all day, that's fine. But it's like, hey, I'm going to eat what I like, still get a workout in, and then it snowballs that. So it's getting out of your own way and allowing yourself some of that grace to say, okay, well, today is only going to be 15 minutes. Maybe one day you got a 45-minute in you. It's just getting in what you can and not feeling you have to have yourself at a certain level or a certain point and say, okay, well, if I'm not doing this, I'm not doing it at all. We don't want to have that all or nothing. Something is better than nothing. And this is, it stands true because, again, it sets your day up for success and the next day and the next day. Because if you're like, I didn't do it yesterday, I won't do it. Okay, Monday, and it's already Wednesday. You're like, wait, I'm going to erase the rest of the week. It's like, just jump in and just do something. It makes a huge, huge difference.
Slow goals.
That's it.
Work your way up.
I
Slow
like that.
step.
I have been doing slow goals.
Nice.
Like,
you can move your arms now?
I can move my arms. I will never make that mistake
just
of
flap?
just working. I did, because I've been working them out.
Perfect. Can't wait for
By
you to
reaching
fly. I
for the
love it.
remote. I switch off. So other than, mentally changing up your routine is obviously going to help you with that. But physically, how does changing it up help with your results?
It has amazing, what we're seeing, not only physiological, but metabolic benefits, where we are going to continue to burn calories after a workout. So when you're changing that up and we change that physical environment, our body responds better to the exercises we're doing. Because again, if you're, doing legs and you always go in and do, 5 sets of squats and 5 sets of lunges and doing that, well, maybe it's a plyometric, or maybe it's a 5-second descent in your squat each rep instead of just up and down through it. By making these small changes, even with the same exercises, you're giving such a different stimulus to the muscle that physically we get a lot better results, but then our body's constantly having to adapt. So if you think, well, how can I change this a little bit? Again, we don't want anybody to overthink it, because it's super easy to do it, or back to your point where like you overthink it, like, hey, I should have to do this amount because this is what I used to do, or this is what I feel like I should do. It's just getting in there and doing something, but giving yourself just a little bit of change makes all the difference, again, physically and mentally.
Awesome.
Got it. Thanks, Eric.
Cool.
Always appreciate it. We're going to have some more tips and tricks from him coming up in the 7 o'clock hour as well, right?
7.
Good, because I've just finished chowing down
Yeah.
on Ryan's, so I'm definitely going to need that. All right, 6:28 is the time. We're going to be right back after this. The start.
We're good.
We're solid. All right. The start of a new year means, you renew, refresh, rethink your fitness journey. But some folks are battling with sticking to that routine. I feel like that's a very common thing this far into January, right? But apparently it's okay to just change it up, right, Eric?
You got to change it up. And I love where you guys were, how motivated you were at the top of the hour about 5Ks and going, hey, this is something I want to do. But no, changing it up is it. And that could, something like that could be it. When you have say that we got this Tour de Cape, and it's a bike or a run, and it might not be something you're like, man, I really want to do it, but it gives you something to train for, right? It's not I've got to go do the best I could ever do. It's just go do it, because if you're thinking, oh, I have this thing coming up, so that's something that can really shift your mindset of going, hey, I want to do something. Doesn't mean you have to run the whole thing. Doesn't mean you're going to walk the whole thing, or maybe you're doing a bike. It's just getting that variety in there, whether it's your weight training, your cardio, or really what you have to look forward to and how you're going to express yourself physically.
I feel like you're lightly peer pressuring us into getting into a 5K.
I know. I think he wants us to do the 5K.
No. Would you do the 5K with us if we went and did it?
Absolutely. Let's do a 5K.
You know
5K
what?
all day.
All right, give me can I have 6 months to prepare?
You
I
would
have
probably
7.
need 6 weeks. I'm just saying. You could go walk one right now, right?
No, probably
yes,
definitely not.
We'll be crawling.
Yeah, 100%
It's
crawling.
3 miles.
That's far. I don't think I've ever walked 3
You know
miles.
what? I'm gonna go. What is a half? There's not a half.
13. Half 5K?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Well, see, that's not a
mean-
thing. I can do that though.
Wait, we're getting off track.
Wow.
People at home
Okay.
are like, why are they talking about a
They
5K? So big thing it up.
Yeah,
We're talking
that's
about
right.
big thing up your workout.
Yeah.
Do a little bit of this, do a little bit of that, so you don't get bored.
Yeah.
Mentally, it helps you a lot, but physically, what are we talking results-wise when you do that?
There's a tremendous amount of results when you change up your workout, because you're going in, and even if you're on leg day and you have that kind of same routine with squats and lunges, or you're doing pull-ups and rows on your back day, or whatever your routine is, if you're changing the amount of reps you're doing, the speed of the reps, speed them up, slow them down, mixing in other exercises in between, just making that small adjustment allows for better muscle stimulation. But then physically, we're seeing better results, but mentally, we're staying engaged because it's something a little bit different. Because when we become that creature of habit, it becomes, boredom sets in, and then we're like, I'm not doing this anymore.
Yeah.
I'm done. I'm going home, or I'm not going in for that. And, what we talked about in the first segment about just getting something in. It's just getting that routine, because, this is that time of year people are like, man, I got to work out an hour and a half a day. I've got to eat just broccoli. I'm going to stay away from, the grilled cheese. But, it's like, hey, eat the grilled cheese. That's okay, because you have a certain amount of calories your body needs anyway. And just get something in every day just to start simulating that, that regiment. You have that discipline of, I'm going to do at least 15 or 20 minutes a day, and maybe it turns into 30 or 45 minutes some days, but just get something in.
And we were talking about it last hour also. Don't give up on yourself. Don't get in your head, and you can keep going, even if you're not seeing the results that you used to have, or that you want in the next 5 weeks.
Oh, I think it was.
Hey!
Me.
Yeah, and I think, just that last point you said about 5 weeks, it's putting good expectations on yourself. Because anybody in a weight loss journey, you should look at about 1% of your body weight max a week. People are like, I want 10% of my body weight gone. If I'm 200 pounds, I'm like, hey, I want to get to 190. Okay, well, at max, I should be looking at 2 pounds a week. Or most people are like, I didn't lose 5 pounds this week. I didn't know. So that's something to put, expectations on yourself that are realistic. It goes into SMART goals, which we've done a segment on that. Maybe that'll be next week. We'll go through
Let's
it.
do
But
it.
understanding that we're going to need them for the 5K.
Yeah.
So it's really, giving yourself realistic expectations, and just allow yourself to know, hey, that little bit is going to make a big difference. You think about financial investment. It's not like, oh, well, that $10 a week doesn't make a difference. Well, obviously, it's going to make a huge difference. Well, put $10 a week into your health, and it's going to make a huge difference.
There you go.
$10 a week in your
Boom.
health.
Hey,
I love that.
1,000.
Baby steps. All right.
Only.
Thanks, Eric, for coming. Always appreciate you. I'm going to start training for that 5K today.
Perfect.
7:29 is the time. We're going to be right back after this, y'all.